What's up, my Star Beauties? Welcome back to my channel. It's been a month since I last uploaded. Let's get into today's topics. Why people blame God, especially during this time. I've seen many comments, especially on social media, of people blaming God or saying, where is he? Why isn't he stopping it? So I want to clarify some things and bring some light to all this. And hopefully you will learn something, and hopefully you will leave this video at the end of hopefully after you have watched this video, you would have understood or gained some understanding of how things really work and why we really should not be blaming God for nothing. The other day I was trying to have my devotion in the morning, and I was thinking about a topic that I should write. I'm trying to write down new topics so I can start posting in here. So I've been slacking a little bit, but it's not because I've been slacking. It's simply because I'm very, very busy, even though I'm home. Why do people always blame God for everything? Why don't we adults, people, human beings, assume responsibility for our own actions? Are we a puppet? Are we a thing that we should always blame God or the one who created us, who made us? I mean, if we're a puppet, if we're a thing, if we're a product, the natural thing would be, let's say you buy a product in a store and you bring it home and then it's just malfunction or it's cheap. The natural reaction would be, you know, well, look where it's from, or look who made it, or look at the company that made it. So you're always blaming whoever created that product, whoever made that product. And in our case, whether you want to accept it or not, God made us. So when you are blaming God for your actions and how you do things, or if you see someone acting a certain way, you're like, yeah, you know, that's their God, you know, that God made them like that. But what happens when we people as human beings blame God for when we do not offer a good to the society? Are we to blame God right away? Because logic would be, well, that's how he made us, you know, God made me like this, so why not? But I'm pretty sure most of us in the world, well, minus a few, know that God, when he made us, he gave us the free will. The free will, it's that freedom that we have inside of us, that power that we have to choose between right and wrong. You know, the right action, the wrong action, or the good and the bad. That is the free will that we have. The free will allows us to make a choice in life, and it's our most powerful possession. We're not a puppet, we're not an animal, we're not a thing. A product does not have a free will. An animal does not have a free will. A thing does not have a free will. We have a free will, us human beings, which means we can do whatever we want. Now, in life, we can let people, circumstances, things that happen influence our free will, or influence in the way we choose to use our free will. But again, like I said, we can allow that. You know, we can allow them, the people, the circumstances, situations, things that happen to us in most countries, in most places. Now, there's places in the world that many people can't exercise their free will. In this country, free will is so unappreciated. We take it for granted at all times. In other countries, free will is restricted and makes it harder for people to choose right or wrong. You know, for example, in a country where women's rights are not as celebrated as here, or a woman's free will is not exercised as much as here. You know, women here in this country can go to school, or they don't have to go to school. Whereas in other countries, other parts of the world or countries, like in poor communities or poor countries, the free will for a woman, it's not a thing, you know. Someone else decides for you. You don't get to exercise your free will. And I grew up in a country like that, and there's still certain areas in my country where free will, for women, it's not a thing, you know. You might get to go to all the way to elementary school, but no high school, no college. You don't get to decide who you marry, who you fall in love with, where you live, your job, your profession. None of that. Everything is decided by someone else. So your free will doesn't exist, you know. And it's sad because I believe every gender, whether women or men, have something beautiful to offer to the community where they live, where they're born and raised. And to be restricted, you know, it creates a mentality that I'm not wanted, I am not worthy, I am just there to create kids or have kids, a family, or be used. And there's a lot of countries with this type of mentality, which I don't agree. And then this causes people to blame God, to hate God. This causes people to point their finger at God and say, you know, God, where are you? Why are you not getting me out of this? Yeah, you gave me the free will, but I can't get out of this. And it is hard to get into that topic. I'm not going to get into the details, but I just hope that you and I, who have the freedom to exercise our free will be reminded today and to be grateful that we live in a country like America, to be able to exercise our free will and decide whatever we want to decide. So I'm going to read a Bible verse, Deuteronomy 30 verse 15 through 20. God laid it out on the table for us humans, how to exercise our free will. So, verse 15. See, I have set before you today life and prosperity and destruction. 16. For I command you today to love the Lord your God, that's a command, to walk in obedience to him and to keep his commands, decrees, and laws. Then you will live, okay, and increase, and the Lord your God will bless you in the land you are entering to possess. God has laid the right and the wrong before us right from the beginning of times. If we choose the right side, the right way, we will reap the benefits of it. He has also laid the wrong, and what will happen if we choose the wrong side. You might say, but why did God tell us about the wrong side? Why did he show us the other side? Well, it's like having a kid, you know, who is 1 or 2 years old, who's just learning to make his choices. So we tell them, don't touch the hot stove or else you will get burned. But what happens when we grow older and we make our own choices from our own free will? We reap what we sow. And sometimes we don't like the outcome of our own actions. So we tend to blame God. Why? Why do we always do that? Why can't we just own up to our mistakes and present ourselves as mature adults and take responsibility for our own actions? Because it is easy to just throw the blame on God, but that does not make us mature adults. I want to get back to the story of the COVID-19 situation. So I've heard and I've read it in many social media posts, whether Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, where people are blaming God about this virus. Like I said, it's very easy to blame God and point fingers at God, but sometimes the entire life we just keep on going and doing our own thing, our own life, and we never acknowledge that there is God. But there is God, trust me, there is a God. And you might be sitting there and blaming him. That he did this, God sent this. I don't believe that personally. I don't believe you can believe whatever you want. It's your choice, it's your free will. I don't believe it, but I believe that this time, as difficult as it might be for many people who have been stuck at home, quarantined with their kids, this is definitely a time like a nighttime. When the nighttime comes, we're all forced by our own bodies to rest, to switch off the lights, switch off the phones, stop talking, stop looking at things, stop thinking, and just lay on our bed and relax and just let it go. And give our body a rest, give our minds a rest, give our hearts rest, give our soul rest. And this is happening. This is what's going on. And I hope that you see it like this, with this eye, with this perspective, instead of blaming God. Oh, I'm stuck home with the kids, I'm stuck home with my spouse, although, it's true, sometimes I know it's difficult, but this is the perfect time, because when you go back to work, you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss being home, cooking, spending time with your kids, cuddling with them, reading books to them. That's what really life is. Just slow down, take it in, breathe some fresh air. There's no airplanes going on right now, there's no cars that much, so be grateful that it's not you're not in a war zone. Your house is not being attacked by bullets, by bombs, by fire. I know how that is. I've seen it with my own eyes 20 years ago. So take this as a retreat, like we could take it like a retreat, but at home, and I hope that that you don't point your finger at God, because I don't have facts or know for sure that this is made by men, but the statistics are out there that whoever created this had an evil intention, but we should not be focusing on that, and yes, God has the power to stop it, but like I said in the beginning, he gave us the free will. So that person, or that the group of people, or whoever, that mind that created the virus, that person had the free will. I don't think the virus was created by a 2-year-old who does not know what a free will is, or a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old. Okay, I have a 6-year-old. She knows what free will is, but only in text-wise, like in context. She does not know what it actually means that you have the free will, unless I'm telling her, look, you have a choice, pick, so whoever made it, I'm pretty sure that person or that group of people, or those minds, had the choice, had the free will. They chose, they made their own choice. So God is not going to intervene in our free will. That is something that he will not. He can if he wants to, but he's not going to do it, because like I said in the beginning, we're not puppets. You're not a puppet, you're not a product, you're not a thing, you're a human being. You make a decision out of your free will, whether that decision that you made has a positive outcome or a negative outcome, that is ultimately on you. You made that decision, you chose. Then the question could be, why do people make wrong choices? Why do people choose the wrong side instead of the right side? Why do people make evil decisions? That's because like I said, our free will, our life, our mind is influenced by our surroundings, by what we give into, what we focus into. If you are constantly in connection with God, you are going to learn from God to make right choices. He will teach you. But if you're just, letting yourself be influenced by negative people, negative minds, negative influence, that is what you're ultimately going to end up doing, So because there's that saying too, tell me who you hang out and I will tell you who you are, like I said again, it's not the time to point or blame God for none of this. It's the time to connect to strengthen, to go back to God. It's the time to connect with your family, to connect with God, to connect with His Word. It's the time to know who you are and why you exist, why you're in this world, you know. It's the time to think, ponder, meditate on the good things that you have in life, you know, and express that by being thankful and thanking God for what you have. It's not the time to blame, because blaming and pointing fingers at others for others' mistakes will lead to nothing, to nowhere, basically. So it's a waste of time. It's a waste of your breath and energy. So try to focus your energy and your breath in the positive things that you're most thankful for, you know. Because this quarantine life could be worse, you know. You could be locked home, and like I said, it could be a war zone. We could be having to run with a bag of food and a bunch of clothes and a bunch of kids, you know. No car, we would have to be running there. 20 years ago, I had to walk from one country to another to escape from war, from bullets, from fire. Today, this quarantine life, I take it more as a retreat. Although I'm pretty busy and I'm tired, I'm not used to, I'm not an indoor person, I'm an outdoor person. I love nature. But at the same time, there isn't a day that goes by that I don't thank God about. Being home, have shelter, I'm safe. No one is coming here and throwing bombs or bullets at me. You know, I'm safe, I'm secure, I have food, I have clothes, I have warmth, I have my family who's safe. That is what I focus on, you know, and that is what I encourage that you do the same, and not blame God, because God is not to be blamed for people's choices, okay? Someone made this. Someone is to blame, but not God. But pray that this horrible virus ends soon, and pray for people to be healed. Pray for those who are in the line of duty. Pray for those who are in direct contact with people who are sick, you know, like our nurses, doctors, essential workers, you know. Pretty much for me, everyone is an essential worker. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it encouraging, and it reminded you that in tough situations, it's not the time to blame God or point your finger at God, or point your finger at God or blame Him because someone else is acting the way they're acting. It's not the time, you know. It's not the time, because everyone in this world has a free will, and how they choose to use that free will, it's up to them, and they will for sure reap the consequences of their actions and their choices. And sometimes, sadly, the people around them will reap them too. And I just pray that you will use your free will to make right choices and good, and be thankful and grateful for everything that you have, you know, even during this difficult time. There goes the sun. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and join the family. I will see you guys on my next video. Be blessed. Bye. Bye-bye.